Thanks for joining us on 13 News at noon on this Friday. Happy Friday to you. Woo. Yes, so happy we made it to the end of this very hot work week. I'm Anne Marie here with Sean Ash, and today is another hot, muggy day. It's what you've been forecasting all week. The humidity is going to continue, and now I understand we've got this chance for some downpours.
Yeah, and some areas will have a better chance than others here. Right now, it looks like an axis is kind of setting up along I-70. Might put a little more metro area in the play, but we're all in the same old muggy air too. So let's get to radar first to show you where some of these cells are popping up. Well, I'll show you the temperatures because we do have a little bit of a difference. You see Connorsville's at 77. Some areas will have a little more cloud cover than others today. And really, that's the only thing that's going to slow you down, and whether or not you get some of these showers. You see here on live Doppler 13 radar near Fillmore, just to the east of Greencastle. So they're like we expected. It's fair game from now until just a little bit after sunset to have some of these popping up, and they will be quick hitters. Anything on radar, as we've been trying to stress, it will have heavy rain potential. It does not mean everywhere gets heavy rain, but anything on radar is going to tap into this highly humid air and uncomfortable air. Kokomo has a heat index of 88. We're pushing almost 100 already, like yesterday here in Indy, and it's 106 this hour in Terre Haute. I mentioned we're all in the same muggy air, but you can see there's cloud cover that's a little more persistent the farther north you go. Dew point temperatures area-wide remain in the 75 to near 80-degree range, and that is something that is not going to change until the latter part of next week. So as we go through the afternoon, you can see we're going to be pushing about 100 to locally 108 on the heat index. And then all of us has a chance for some intense cells to produce some localized flash flooding rates. I think the better coverage of rain and storms will be from I-70 and to the north. We'll talk about the weekend, and we do have relief in the 7-day forecast, the timeline ahead.
Okay, we're going to hang in for 7 days. Thank you, Sean. This afternoon, we do have an update as Metro Police tell us that they are investigating now what they've determined is a deadly shooting on the south side. It happened along Griffin Road, that's off US 31 in Southport. The shooting originally reported as a crash at 12:45 this morning, but police say when they got there, they found a man shot inside a car. He did go to the hospital in critical condition. That's where he later died. While at the scene, police say they were told about a suspicious person in a yard nearby. They believe that that person is involved in the shooting, but they have yet to locate him.
We believe it's a very isolated incident. I believe at this time, but we don't have any information for sure on this, but I do believe at this time that our victim was more than likely meeting someone in here. And to be honest, my guess is that neither he or any of the parties involved more than likely did not live in this neighborhood.
Police say they found multiple shell casings along the street, and as the investigation continues, you're urged to call police if you have any information. You can also call Crime Stoppers 317-262-TIPS. This afternoon, the Marion County coroner is identifying 2 victims following a domestic violence disturbance that led to a deadly shooting that involved IMPD. News from the area of Clifton Street around I-65. This was shot Thursday morning. He says in it shows the gunfire between IMPD officers and the shooting suspect. The coroner has now identified that shooting suspect as 76-year-old Walter McNary. Investigators say that police shot McNary after he fired at officers multiple times. IMPD also released images showing squad cars with bullet holes. Police say before all of that, they say that McNary shot and killed 60-year-old Nola McNary. Police say they found her shot in a driveway along Ritter Avenue near 46 and Emerson. Officers then followed the suspect before that crash that ended near Crown Hill Cemetery.
I've seen the videos, and I feel for every person who found themselves suddenly in the middle of a crime scene just by walking down the street. This is not okay. No one should have to go through that.
We're told no officers were injured in the shooting. We're told that their body cams were on throughout, and now IMPD Internal Affairs is investigating the incident. A former IMPD officer now is under arrest, accused of child molestation. State police say the alleged crime happened while he was serving as an officer. The investigation started when investigators got information about suspected abuse dating back several years. According to IMPD, the man retired last year. And today we do have an update on a reported drowning that occurred out on the west side at the Eagle Creek Reservoir. The Marion County Coroner's Office now is identifying the 22-year-old victim. Pike Township fire crews called to the area near Rick's Boatyard Cafe after they had reports of a woman who was missing in the water there. They say that she jumped off of a sailboat into the water and she didn't come back up. Dive crews weren't able to find her. State DNR officers started searching, and their crews found her body around 10 o'clock last night. There is a new sign, and it's in Bartholomew County in the Columbus area, calling attention to the impact that President Trump's so-called Big Beautiful Bill could have on our rural hospitals. So take a look at this billboard. It's a sign paid for by the Democratic National Committee. It says, quote, "Under Trump's watch, Columbus Regional Health is cutting medical services." The sign is bringing attention to potential negative impacts from the tax and spending cuts law. Last month, even before that new law, the hospital in Columbus announced it was cutting several services that include its inpatient rehab unit. The hospital noted federal and state funding as reasons for the cuts. The Governor Braun, blamed a broken system as the reason that our rural hospitals now are struggling statewide.
The fact we got 80 to 90 rural hospitals hanging on by their fingernails. You got 5 to 7 very rich systems. And if you run like an unregulated utility, something's going to have to be done to make sure we have good care and access in the rural community. And part of that responsibility is going to have to be on the shoulders of the rich hospital systems.
In a statement, the hospital says it didn't have advance notice of that billboard going up or its recent cuts would be referenced. They also said the cuts pose irreversible repercussions to providers like Columbus Regional Health. We have some really hot weather outside, and it really can take a toll on our students when they are doing sports, our student athletes. And that's why some of these programs are making adjustments. For example, Warren Central High School made the call yesterday to move all of the practices inside. Coaches opted to move over to strength training to help keep the athletes out of the high heat. The athletic trainer there says that student athlete help is a top priority.
It's a huge liability. Nobody wants something happening on their watch when it comes to the athletes. We're their first line of medical defense, so we're always going to go to bat for our kids here, and we're going to make sure that we're following the most up-to-date procedures that are in place.
They use a device that tells them the heat zone outside, and that's how they determine whether the practice is going to be moving indoors. Yesterday, that was in the black zone, meaning nobody will practice outside. And we're going to continue to track the temperatures all day today as we get closer to practice times. Sean is forecasting a warm up, and you can stay up to date and weather aware with our Live Doppler 13 weather app. Make sure you get it. It is a free download in your phone's app store.